We are so glad you made it to 2022 with us. We're going to talk about the gladiator arena of ASCII art. We're going to talk about serums selling for way too much money. We're going to talk about dust that's not dust that we thought was dust, but it's not, and making us money now. And Trey has teased a DeFi Kingdom story, and we're going to Trey and I co-own some ballers. We're gonna raffle those off. Let's see not raffle them off. We're gonna roll for who gets which one. We're not giving you those things.
Club NGMI are not financial advisors. The content on this show is for educational purposes only. Do not overinvest by a lot. Oh God, do your own research. We need likes and subscribes to go up. Can't devs do something? We are so glad you made it.
Club NGMI.
Amazing stuff. Just well done, Dangy, not adding anybody to the stream as we got started. Oh, good. It's going to just end and then we'll be there. We'll do the normal thing. No, didn't click the right buttons. Lou, how's your new year going, buddy?
And I've had a great start to the year so far, personally, in the NFT world. What's funny about this whole like tax loss harvesting thing is that became just a massive diamond hander in the last 2 weeks of the year. And so now I'm like starting to list stuff again. And since I was concerned, we weren't sure what the market was really going to do post New Year because we saw a lot of people dumping at the end of the year. So it's nice to see that market still seems like pretty hot right now. Surprised you're not in like a luau attire or something.
I mean, my literal Discord profile is tax loss harvester of sorrow, and I tax loss harvested the shit out of my stuff before the new year. So yeah, I've been left on Earth while you all went to the stratosphere. But that's, we'll talk about that stuff moving forward. So yeah, no luau stuff for me. Still bundled up. Babs, how's your new year been?
New Year's been good. Like Lou said, I'm super excited for the new summery feelings we have. I feel like it's been like the hottest 3 days we've had probably in 2 or 3 months for NFTs. I don't think anyone really expected that. Like, was that many people waiting to buy for the new year because they didn't want to create a taxable event? I guess so. But it's been nice to see like some of the major projects running hard, like Bored Ape, Cool Cats, Lou's being, a little bit nice to himself because he second got a meta hero at 4 Ethereum and sold it for 7 Ethereum a day later, basically. So it's been some nice flips like that. If you're a brave second guy, I'm not. Trey's not. So we'll sit here with our old bags and hope they run. But it's been great start to the year. Enjoying it that way. It's been fun. And I got a new mic for Christmas, so that's been good. I'm trying it out. Someone in the chat in our Discord actually offered to pay for it, but my dad already bought it. But thanks to that person, I won't call him out by name, but it was a nice gesture anyway.
Anonymous benefactor.
No, and I feel like if we're doing this, what's our 25th episode or whatever this is? I thought we were just going to do it as a joke, and here we are 5 months later, still doing it. I should take it a little more serious, I guess. Hey,
Trey, how about you? How's 2022 treating you?
Man, it's I mean, just kind of echoing the sentiment from Babs and Lou. It's a fun time in NFT space right now for sure. I mean, it's got those vibes back from the summer, back during June, July, and then into August, where it's just like, I mean, these past 3 months I pumped the brakes a little bit and was like, man, I am just bleeding ETH, aping into some of these projects, and now it kind of feels like you can just blindly throw money around. You still got to be a little bit careful, but certainly like Larva Lads and just some of these random projects that are popping up and pumping, it feels like summer. So I'm a little bit surprised how, I think it was, everyone would have thought, okay, yeah, everyone's going to tax harvest and then we're going to pump in January. I think that would have been like it was almost too easy to call that. But man, I mean, it was almost like the minute the minute we hit 2022, it was off to the races for the NFT space. So yeah, and overall it's been a great week, off to a good start in 2022. Fighting off a bit of a cold, but oh well.
Don't forget about the critters. The critters were another one that ran.
Yeah,
just like
that
a
was
random one.
Trey. Trey
I've
went
been
in on those ones.
pumping. I mean, I've been talking about the critters for 3 days. I mean, how often do you see a free mint like that just go from 0 to? Someone said it hit 2.15.
Yeah.
Earlier today, like what the?
How many
the
do you
last
have
one I
left?
can really
That
remember.
was like three or 5 days ago.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just. I mean, every time you see a free mint
Love
where it's
era.
max one per wallet, I mean, if it's got any sort of staking or just has any sort of inkling of this could be decent, I mean, it's just a no-brainer. I mean, there's almost zero risk and there's a ton of reward.
Yeah, it's kind of like Mice was the last one that really paid off for free
Yeah.
mint, right? Like there's been some of those that.
Well,
That's Ether Orc erasure.
Wonky
Well,
Stomps is
Ether
the
Orc,
same
yeah.
thing. It was max one per wallet, and
Yeah.
I mean, you crank out. You can literally make a second wallet in 2 seconds. It's like 2 buttons, and then you click send it some ETH, and all of a sudden you've got a second funded wallet. So, I guess it's not that hard.
No.
Some people are really into critters. In another Discord that
Yeah.
I'm in, Grantland.eth is really into critters. And so that, like, I know he's a big Kongs guy. And so he's all into critters. He's got land. He's providing LP. It's kind of crazy that this could have long-term legs.
Well, and some people are farming for block right now, and I mean, it's like you get enough block to pay for land, and the land sells for. I haven't been following it because I'm not staking mine. I've sold most of mine, but it seems like it's like you wait a day, you stake a couple of them, and you have enough to buy land. So it's like acting as passive income for some people.
Yeah, I think it's something like, I thought it was something like 25 a day per critter.
And it's like,
That sound right?
okay.
It's kind of like
looked into it. I
crypto
know Logan
raiders,
was.
like, right? Like, remember second guy in or buying crypto raiders on those OpenSea drops? Like, would you ever have guessed it's what it is now, right? Like, people are just printing.
Well,
money.
No. I paper-handed
The raiders
I know.
themselves aren't that high.
No, but
It's
the
just
LP
if you're
and
buying
the
the coin.
token, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
the game can't be that
coin's
bad.
like 4x since I did that stream like 2 weeks ago.
Crazy.
The Lou bump.
Crazy. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if
One
that
thing I
was
don't
for
understand is
mint.
like why is the game not, like, the actual character is not successful if the LP is crushing? Like, that's one thing I don't
Yeah.
get. Like, usually they kind of go hand in hand. Like, the success of the
Raiders?
game follows with the success of the LP for the most part.
Yeah.
Like, why are the actual characters not worth more, I guess?
Because there's no real market yet for items, or like the in-game is still pretty underdeveloped. So you can't like sell your items, so it's hard on OpenSea. It just lists it as text, so there's not really a way to know what items are better than others. So it's hard to value the characters now, I think is the big issue. But yeah, I would have thought when the price goes 4x, like Tony's saying it's 0.135. I think it was like 0.06 when I did that stream. So like the price of the coin went up 4x, but the price of the characters went up 2x. Does that mean characters are undervalued? Or my counterpoint is, I think people just see the 300% APR in the pools, and that's what's actually driving why they're buying into the coin.
Fair.
The other storyline that I want to highlight is, I mean, Iceman swung by early on. Thanks for the hookup of New Year's Day. Probably my best New Year's Day ever. So he's patient 3 of 5, I believe, now in our little Discord that have been rescued from the small brain whitelist, where you had to draw a brain back in October and then go in a coma for 2 months, basically, and then you wake up and then you've got $25,000 worth of assets on a layer 2. It's so stupid. But I know we've just rescued 5 people. I'm calling it rescuing, but basically we're going back, or people are going back and finding folks that did the brains whitelist stuff and put their wallet in. T's and P's to the folks who did not put their wallet in but did the brains thing, because that's gotta hurt. But I don't remember this sort of a thing where people have been able to go backwards and then just find money in their couch cushions like this. Have we noticed anything like this before?
Usually if you miss a mint window, you don't get to go back, right? Like that's the funny part. Like usually they keep it open for 24 hours. If you never claimed it, it's kind of gone, right? Like you don't get your ownership over that forever normally. So I don't remember seeing something like that for a whitelist where you're on it still and someone can tell you still have a chance to mint, right? Like it's usually 24 hours. If you missed it, you're done, right?
Which
Yeah,
is
except for like these SOS token gas, this stuff that the ENS, like you still had, I don't know, 6-12 months or whatever to claim it.
the new meta is, and I kind of hate it. It's happened with Illuminati's Trey, which is you get a whitelist and then they oversell it, so it's really a gas
Yeah,
water,
what
but they don't tell you that.
that
That happened to another one
I
too.
was
What was the
watching the mint the entire day. I was literally like refreshing every, go up like 100, 200. I was like, all right, I'm good. And then, yeah, I hopped in the Discord and everyone was freaking out about it. I was like, shit.
wasn't Prime 8 Planet the same? Like they oversold the whitelist and it ended up being a gas war. It only lasted an hour when people thought they had 24, right? Like I hate that new meta. Like you got to tell people that if you only have an hour, you only have an hour then, right?
I'm gonna at least tell myself this because I got a wallet on the Primate Planet whitelist, but there's also a bug that the website would tell you were whitelisted, but you were not able to actually mint. So I'm just gonna tell myself that I couldn't mint it and then move on with my life. But yeah, it's we've been talking about this for literally months. Like, what's the perfect way to do a drop? And folks still haven't found it. They don't like Dutch auctions. They don't like whitelists. They don't like gas wars. And we're just trying to mix all these things together to find the right one. So I don't know. Hopefully 2022, we fix that problem. We don't like raffles. That's the other one that we don't like, I guess, because you can multi-account it really easily. I guess the easy way to think about it. Let's talk blue chips. Let's talk apes, everybody's favorite topics. So I thought the 999 serum sale was nuts. And then what was the sale that surpassed that one, Babs?
Like 1,500.
1540, I think. So yeah,
There's been 3 sales.
There was an 888, 999, and then a 1540. I think was the third one. And the 1540, whatever that was at the time was
1442.69 or something.
4.5 million or something, like just crazy. Like it makes you wonder what if a 101 Bored Ape like collection item would go for, because
that's their argument.
Like they're arguing this is a 101. They're arguing this is a 101 of a Bored Ape collection item. So it's totally unique that way. It's cool. You get to reveal it. You get a totally unique one to you. But you obviously have a ton of money if you're doing that, right? Like what's the resale upside at that point? You're hoping for a huge change in future.
Well, I mean, the argument is there have been 2 alien punks that have sold for 4,200. So like you're buying in at 1,500, and I mean I think he said that in one of his tweets that he's like, I'm not selling this for less than 4,269 or whatever, because that's what the memers want. But I mean the argument is kind of good. What the interesting part about this though is there's 3 left, and I'm pretty sure we know the order of the 3 are going to be Cheetah, Trippy, Gold. Right? Like that's pretty locked in. I assume that Gold is last, wouldn't it be? And then Trippy's probably second to last. That's what I would have thought. But I also would have thought that this one was Cheetah and then DMT.
I don't even understand. I'm ignorant to how that even works.
Yeah,
I figured that there was I figured that there was different skins, but I didn't know so we just know that the last one is going to be gold. Doesn't that? So you just wait it out?
I think it went in order of like each mega mutant had a different fur, I think. Yeah. And I don't think 2 have been the same so far. Is that right, Lou? Like I haven't followed it.
13, and they're each based off of a different fur theme.
Mm-hmm.
And so there hasn't been one that's like based off of a cheetah yet. The last one was based off of DMT. That's why I had the eyes. And there hasn't been a Trippy one or Gold. So those are the 3 that are left. I'm just assuming, like, why wouldn't they save the Gold one for last? Since that's like the prime, like this is the best thing for Bored Apes. I don't know. That's
So you
just
have,
my guess.
if you're buying one now, you have a good chance of getting a good one, right?
Right, but
Basically.
that's the thing is like there's those 3 left. Who wants to be the next one to pop it?
Well,
And they get
that's
what
what
the
I'm.
cheetah one, you know? So like that's gonna be an interesting like game theory too of who's the last one to pop theirs.
Do you think? I mean, I would have figured that when they originally were planning on releasing those 13, that they would just do it at random. But it seems like they almost did it like in order, which just seems really, really dumb. Because
It might not
now
be in order,
these,
but those
maybe
are the
not,
3
I
that are
guess. But
left.
yeah, I mean that's interesting. I wonder if it's just a coincidence that Trippy and Gold Fur, the 2 rarest furs, are one of the last 2 left.
I'd hope so. That just seems bad. Like, or like Lou said, it's just game theory turned to the max of like the game never ends unless they mint out, and then what happens? So the story is not written, which is one way to ensure that is have the best thing guaranteed to be the last one.
Because it could be rare. The thing is, Gold and Trippy are the 2 rarest furs. Cheetah isn't that rare. So maybe it was everything but the last 2 were random or something. I don't know. It seems too good to be true that Trippy and Gold are still left if it was completely random.
When did Noise come? Do you remember? Like I don't know which Mega Mutant equates to what fur. Like which one was Noise in order?
Was that the jelly one?
Was it?
I'm not sure.
But yeah, that's the 3rd rarest, right, Babs? So that would make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone in the chat said, "What happens if they expand past mutants and add more 1-on-1s?" Like Bored Ape during the mutant drop said that's the last thing you're ever going to mint publicly, like Bored Ape related was the mutants. So like they're not, if they stick to their word, like you're not getting another public mint. They might release more, airdrops to holders, etc. But like there won't be another public one, and I doubt they have 1-on-1s if they're doing, airdrops. I guess maybe they would, but I mean that'd be an airdrop drop rather than a publicly available one.
You could argue the honorary Bored Apes are kind of 1-on-1s, couldn't you?
Yeah. You also probably shouldn't count those in general because they're kind of. I feel like whenever those get brought up, people get mad because like
of how it happens.
Actually got them. Yeah. People just got like free 50 ETH or whatever for.
And then our chick complained and because she didn't claim hers originally because she didn't care, and then she complained like when they started running, "Hey, I want my honorary one now," right? Yeah, so that's when people started
immediately
hating her,
listed it.
I should have tried harder to get that.
Yeah. That's really annoying. Either you want it or you don't. If you take the L, just take the L. That's very annoying.
Don't say you want it when it's worth something, right? And not care before then.
So I think there were some. Do you know the difference between which ones were minted versus which ones are in the serum? Weren't some of them minted originally?
It was 13.
So.
I thought it was 13
think some of them,
serums.
Because some of them are
yeah.
numbers over 30,000 and the others are under. That's why I thought the ones that were under 30,000 are all of those. I think their number was generated when they minted it. So they minted it and then more mutants were minted after. Is that not true, Lou? Right? Like whatever mega mutant was minted, it was just goes in the order of that mutant, I thought. Is that not true? Because they have 3,000, 30,000, then there's 30,000, 1, 2, 3, and this one was 4. But there's 9 others that are less than 10,000 minted. That's why I thought maybe like if you owned a Bored Ape when you went to claim, you could have gotten that one. Like, didn't you claim your mutant and it was an M1 or whatever? Like, so those serums got airdropped to us. So you either got, when you got airdropped, you got a mega serum, an M2 serum, or an M1 serum. And then you could have either held it or minted it with your own Bored Ape, or you could have bought a Bored Ape and minted it. Well, you already had one, but yeah, you got to choose when you wanted to mint it. I just assumed those other mega mutants serial numbers were because they minted a while ago, but that could be wrong. Oh, so they minted day one or something. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Could be.
But I could be wrong. I wasn't really paying attention to the serial numbers at all.
Yeah.
And you call yourself an ape maxi. I mean, come on.
But
Unreal.
What are you in it for? Is it the yachts?
the community.
PFP?
It's mainly the
No,
community.
no.
Yeah.
Bab sells
in
the
it for the-
yachts. The
Yeah,
Jenkins
yeah,
font.
true.
What's the floor on those?
Oh,
now?
come on. They're like
man.
they're
those
like
ran like
35
crazy.
or something.
They're
Is
what?
today the last
Yeah,
day?
35 each, I think.
People are
Just-
amped about licensing.
Remember those normal tickets we got for Jenkins? Like the normal ones, like they were like
They're selling out like
0.05.
0.15.
They're like 0.7 now or something. Like
Yeah.
yeah.
0.75.
For one of those normal tickets.
I had like 6 of those. What is this?
Exactly.
I know.
I
had a ton of
I
those
papered
ones.
mine at like I have an ape and I papered mine at like 0.05 or whatever. It was
See,
sitting around
well,
there for like 2 months.
I mean, I papered it because it's like, oh, I'm gonna pay for this guy's writing career. Like, that's cool. I like that. I'll try to do that, and I'll sell and make a little bit of money. I didn't realize that it was going to be used to license within a storyline and like expand the IP, because that's what these are going to be used for, right? You like burn. Do you burn it, or do you just say you have it and tie it to an ape?
No, you have to have an ape. Well, I think you have to have the ape first, right? Well, if you had an ape, you got whitelisted on it or whatever. But if you have a Jenkins, any of the NFTs, and then you connect it to your Bored Ape, so that it's kind of like a claim process. I assume that ticket can only claim one ape. Is that right, Babs?
Yeah. It's
I'd
one
assume
ticket
so.
per ape.
Yeah.
Oh, shout out to
But-
Lou. Lou, you minted these for me. I got my first
There you go.
Jenkins transaction is from Lou Dog. Thanks, Lou.
But
Did,
I haven't like
yeah. When
I haven't
was that?
followed. Oh, it's got to be in like
August
July,
4th.
August. Yeah, there you go.
So long ago.
One thing I don't know is if you can like, and I haven't followed the project enough. Once I saw things, I kind of just move on. But I don't know like the difference between like the yacht and the stand and the ticket. Like if you can license all of those to one ape, like I don't know the semantics of it. But yeah, there's different tiers, I guess, of registration.
The floor on the stands
I
is
sold my
5.3.
first one
Jeez.
an hour and 13 minutes after I got it from Lou.
Yeah, there you go.
So I think what Pump's saying is the higher numbered ones. I'm assuming that means the person has already mutated one. That's my guess. Like they mutated the one that they got their serum for, and then they bought the M3. So I think those first 9 or whatever were people that got it in the airdrop, and these other ones were purchased. That's probably what it is. But yeah, this Jenkins thing has gone crazy because I think one of the next couple days here is when they cut off the date for licensing, and then Cape Tane Trippy or whatever his name is on Twitter, he had like 300 of them, and he was licensing. So you could do, if you claimed his licensing, then you guys split the royalties, and if you ever sell it, he still gets the other half of it. So that's what I did with him, instead of like claiming it myself. I don't know if there's more involved to claim it yourself though, but I figured, I mean, might as well, like he's pushing for it, trying to get like he was trying to get another like 100 people to do it. I was like, oh yeah, I'll do this. This is gonna be a little less work for me to figure out what to do. And then I was like, well, you need the Jenkins ticket. So it's like, well, now I have to rebuy that at like 0.5 or whatever it was. But it worked out because it went up to 0.75. So, oh man, is anything going down right now? That's my question.
Oh, that's a good question.
That was a good question.
When we originally said that there was one thing that was going down, but which was Cool Cats, but then they've gone back up. So
I mean, technically Critters went up to 2 and now they're down to 1.4, but
Oh.
No, I just mean,
I don't know that you can.
Hate to see that.
no, I just mean like things that were like a week or 2 ago. It seems like everything is gone up since then. That includes things like Knights of Degen, and like things that have been around for a little while that seem to be everything. People are, maybe they've been looking at these items and now they're hopping in. What's the per
Our-
floor at? That's like 0.2.
Yeah, our flip maps are pretty dusty.
Ugh.
I mean, Art Blocks hasn't been hit with any of this. In the past, when there is like a big rush like this, Art Blocks would catch some of that. We haven't really seen that with Art Blocks though. They're
Well,
also
that's what
like
I'm
out of
interested to see
season.
if that ends up happening still or not, or if it maybe just funnels
Yeah.
to some of the more like top tier
Punks-
projects. I don't know. There's just so much
Aren't
money
Punks
going
still
around.
65 or something?
Steve's just baiting us. He's baiting us.
It's kind of true. Punks
oh,
falling was what led to all of this.
Punks are 67.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's actually not bad. They got down to like low 50s.
Was it really?
Isn't that when
Well,
the
yeah,
original?
that's when they got flipped.
Yeah, but they got
Yeah.
flipped, but then they
Yeah.
flipped back and
It
they
was like
ran for a bit.
55,
Now,
yeah.
Well, now it's like an official. They're
Yeah.
like 5 ETH difference.
Yeah,
That's
I think
pretty
they're
big
just
delta.
yeah. Interesting.
I don't want to do apes versus punks. So
we can move on.
I mean, no.
I mean,
it's
that's.
not
I
even,
think that
like,
conversation
really
is just kind
discussion.
of over. I mean,
There's nothing else really to
Let's
say.
well, we're in round 13, thanks to Dylan, of Chainface Arena, where we are fighting
Oh
to the
man.
death for what is it, 696 ETH?
Yeah,
It's
down to, like,
687 now.
690.
687 now.
687 now.
Bleeding.
People are claiming already. They
Well,
want their 0.04.
You guys
They're
think
really
it's gonna end
desperate.
higher than 100? Like I in my mind, I thought it would be like 100 that it would get
No.
to. Like
No.
it's not gonna be 600 that you're getting.
No,
But
We're gonna need so many of them to die for it to get to 100. Like
They
to be the
will.
last one
There's-
standing, but the last one
every-
standing for 100.
there's 30 that die.
I don't think the first place prize will be that much. People will leave
Why?
and take their
why
money.
are people
right?
using the gas to take people out
I don't know.
to do what
Let them.
right now?
They can't
To
get
get their
back in.
0.04 and sell for like what's the floor on those? Like, and plus I don't know why people are buying those. If you're not,
The more people that get out now, the faster we'll get back to even. The
Yeah, so
faster
the
we'll
floor on
start
those
actually be able
is-
to think about claiming.
the floor on those is 0.035 now, and you know you might claim 0.04, pay
Oh, guys,
whatever
we're not gonna make
gas.
it.
Why?
There's a
Did you
free dad's mint. I'm trying to get it. There's no
Is
chance.
yours-
I'm gonna try anyway.
Oh man.
Is it
DJ
free? I don't even know if it's
dads.
free. Because they drink beer and beer is the token. I
Mm.
think.
Is it free?
I don't know.
This is a
Allegedly.
Clampy special.
Oh, Tig just said it done.
damn it.
Well,
It's done?
that's gonna be a fail.
There was only 2,000 of them.
Oh crap!
God, I keep missing these free ones now. They only keep them up for like the first
Yeah.
1,000, or it's like the new meta is great, but it's only like you got to catch it really quick, and then you got to make sure that it's not a rug, and by that time it's already
Yeah, you gotta fire
Like-
right away if you
like
want
you
the free
basically got to
ones.
send
Yeah.
it right away now.
Well, these
I mean,
ones are
that's what
kind
was
of
nice
cool.
about. Shit.
Oh, they're cool.
Yeah,
even?
I'm-
Yeah.
I mean, they're
Show's
cooler than
canceled, we got a
some of
mint.
the random stuff that we click on. Like those
I like those little
Bitcoins
collections though, like
yesterday.
those 2000 collections. Like sometimes they run. Like if you can get in, like
Yeah,
if people
less-
actually
less
like them.
interesting.
Totally. Oh god, this is gonna be so hard to do a show while we're trying to do this mint because I'm trying to actually buy on secondary.
I mean, you don't want to buy it secondary yet. It's like 0.5 floor.
Oh shit, are you?
And
serious?
then-
0.15
I mean,
now. Oh, they're really kind of cool
um,
actually. They kind of look like
That's what I'm saying. There's only
Damn.
four until a 721 ETH floor right now.
Shout out to this guy or gal, whoever, who just listed for 50 ETH, just right off the rip, just 50.
Did you see all
You
the
want
ones
my
at
tab?
721 ETH?
What?
Is this a Club 721 thing? Yeah. DJ and Dad number 12 listed at 720.
It's got to be Club 721 then.
He looks like an LA Dodgers pitcher.
Oh,
Kind of what he's got, like the LA Dodgers hat.
I
There's
don't hate
Chargers
these.
hat.
I'm kind of in on these. Okay. The next thing that I had was actually our ballers stuff, Trey. So
Let's do it.
when did ballers mint?
Man, that had to be
It was a couple months, right?
November. I mean, it had to be like beginning of November, I would think.
You had to wait 6 weeks
Mid-November?
before the marketplace, I think.
Yeah, it's been a while.
So I think it was a 5 o'clock mint. Maybe it was before dinner time. Like all these things are just related to dinner time as team dad, doing everything I can. Yes, Tony, I do like these.
Oh, one just went at 0.04. That was Terminator skin. That has to be good.
Oh, this is gonna be like when NFTs were first, or when Top Shot was first starting, and like Pete would be trying to do a football show, and then just Top Shot would happen.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I see the Terminator one now. Oh man, that'd be cool.
I tried to get it.
Ugh.
All right.
These could be dusted.
Oh,
I don't know.
I mean, likely.
Someone else listed for 721 as well.
Are we just done with chain faces? We're just moving on from chain faces. I thought we were going to tilt about how bad it is.
What do we want to
Chain
tilt
faces,
on it?
I'm cool with it.
Like, I love the concept. I just wish, like how long are we going to be playing this game for it to get back to like something we care about for money? Like, I already had lost one. One's already killed. I'm gonna you can claim 0.04 right now. Like, so in another week, I might be able to claim 0.1. Like, why is the game so slow? Why can't we speed it up? And why couldn't he have put more prize pool in the prize pool?
Yeah.
Welcome to my dad, by the way. My dad has a mullet and a hoodie.
I can't believe you're providing exit liquidity for people. Like, why would you buy one of those?
Why would I buy one of these?
Why would you buy this one? Why would you buy this one?
Because it was floor.
Danny loves all the dad mints.
I do.
Here's a good question. And okay, we'll come back to the chain faces because I do want to talk about those. But a theoretical here, because what we talked about earlier, we're second guying. Because I feel like Dangy is one of the best at second guying right after the mint ends. And
it's happened like twice.
Yeah. But like what's sort of the strategy? I think it's just a kind of a decent conversation in general. Like the strategy of hopping on right after the mint ends, because this is happening a lot recently this week. So like how do you go about
this guy's cool as hell.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, why did you pick the other one? Like, I would have looked at the other one and thought there's probably a cooler or more rare one that you can click. And people are listing, but it takes them time. Like, gas is a little higher probably right now. So is it better to like wait it out 10 minutes? Or is it better to try to like, oh, this one's green, he's probably good. You know, like, what do you think?
Nate's the one that's been crushing this lately.
That's true.
He gets
he's been using that trait sniffer and just sniping some of those like number one rarities.
What would you put the percentage chance on these not being dust? Right? Like what's like, you second guy, like it's only 0.05, but like what's the percentage chance that you're not just throwing away that 0.05? Like I would say there's a 75% chance these are complete dust.
Yeah, dang it.
But like is it worth it? Like what is it worth? Is it worth the risk? I guess. Like I'm not good at second guying these. If I miss something, I just move on. I guess
it's a little different on these. I think than some others.
I think it is worth it. I mean, they've teased some pretty incredible utility.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, what do you know about this project at all? Like the turtles, they had a white paper. We were able to like read what their plan was. Yeah.
All I know is beer.
What does that mean?
And I know token time.
I just know anything about utilities. Just making shit up.
Hey, Dangy's Dangy's putting on display here a perfect low IQ play, right? Beer, buy, right? Don't even think about the white paper. That's what a middle IQ would do. Low IQ sees beer and they buy.
That's right.
So like Dangy like is way more aggressive second guying than like Trey, you and I would be.
No.
You've made some like bold second guy calls, and like, do you think overall you're net winning or losing on your second guy?
Like overall, long term.
I'm just curious. Like,
specifically,
I'm just curious. Like, do you think, Dangy, that you're successful as a second guy. Like I've got burned a few times and then I just give up, right? Like, or you just kind of keep at it. So like, why do you keep second guying? Do you think it's
it's crypto dads all over again? It's crypto.
It does sound like him.
Oh my gosh.
Here we
Do
go.
I need to second guy this?
He's got a football. He's a football dad. Oh, it's gone. Oh, there's sales. All right, I'm gonna keep doing my thing. You guys keep talking about this.
he's not even listening to us. He's too busy second guy.
No,
I know, right?
I'm in on these dads. Are you kidding?
I agree
These
though
things are
with
cool as hell.
like, I'll do this a couple times on these like Freeman slow mints or whatever. Like I did it on, I bought one of the Bitcongs, and my reasoning was I missed minting them. So I'll buy one, and if it goes up, and maybe just try to find one that's rarer. I've also been trying to use Genie on some of the things like this to just see what Genie's all about and like practice it.
I thought Babs was asking Lou. I did not realize Babs was asking me.
No, he's totally ignored my question. He was like daydreaming about his dads.
I wasn't sure. If
not
you
even
were asking
hosting
me
the
either.
not even hosting. Oh, I was asking Dangy.
Because
Like
my
we know
thought-
you could crush seeing a second guy. I was asking Dangy. Like Dangy makes bold.
Oh,
Second guy calls. Like, do you think you're a net winner or net loser? Second guy.
right now, net loser because I tax loss harvested pretty hardcore on a couple.
Okay,
on purpose.
ignoring your intentional tax loss harvesting.
I mean, that's
I'm
part of it too.
Probably up, I'd say, but it's pretty thin. And it's a lot scarier than minting and doing the rarity lotto. And you have multiple outs if you mint. Like you could mint and then sell pre-reveal. And if it's not a dusty project, that's guaranteed profit, basically. And then I don't know. Lately, I think that's kind of been counter trend, though. A lot of these projects, at least in this intense summer, they've gone up after reveal.
For sure.
Like the Disto Apes have.
Yeah.
What was the one today that was going up after reveal? I forget because I got rid of them.
Oh.
But I don't think it's. I think it could be plus EV, but you just got to pick your spot. Turtles, sure.
You really do just have to pick your spot. That's what it's like.
Yeah.
If you're just blindly second guying, like I can probably count on one or two hands, how many times I've second guyed. So I think I'm up because I've just mostly like, it was like a cool cat, a gutter cat back when they were kind of cheap. And then those ended up working out. I actually second guyed some Treeverse yesterday.
Yeah,
so
I did that.
Genied
I have a
that.
couple of them.
So I got 7 plots for that now. So just trying to make more.
I didn't get that many.
I'm just trying to make more, but I am trying to like shuffle that portfolio around. So I am more open to second guying, I think, this year than I was last year, and just, kind of amassing a nice portfolio of some NFTs that I think could do well, over the next couple months. And just cycling profits into those.
When you went into the Treeverse to try to find them, were you looking at plots with numbers near each other?
No, I was not.
That's what I tried to do with the two. I don't know if it means anything or not, but I didn't know if you knew.
I thought I read that the consecutive plots wasn't going to mean anything, but I could be off on that. I'll have to.
They happen to
re-review.
both at within like 0.05 of floor, so I just did it anyway.
So there you go.
But because it was like the same person selling them, but I wasn't sure. But they had a cool update. They're trying to make it like a mobile game like Zelda.
Yeah.
So the one thing that is a big drawback, I think, for people right now with DeFi Kingdoms is that you're not really like playing a game per se, but it looks like Treeverse seems like you're gonna actually like be playing on your phone. So it kind of looked interesting to me. But I mean, that's not like a quick flip or anything.
The DGen Dads listings, I was trying to count them per minute, and it's impossible. The listings are flying.
The floor's down to 0.022.
There's like 1,800 for sale and 2,000 total.
You're okay. That one's sold. There's 450 of the 2,000 up for sale right now.
That's I do have a thesis, and I think it's been true so far. Low mint counts, they just have more violent moves. So we're going to go violently down, and we're going to go violently up. I think it's
might be right. You might be right.
Yeah, because one guy comes in and Genie's 10 of these, and all of a sudden the floor is 0.05. And people, that's also why I was interested in Genieing, because I think I tried to do it with the Bitcongs and it just kept failing. But I mean, you sweep the floor of 0.03s and 0.04s, all of a sudden it gets up to 0.05 and people are excited about
Yeah,
it.
and there's
But
volume.
I think
yeah.
Genie. I was thinking about that. Do you think Genie's really kind of helped volume?
Yeah,
at least
they
a
were some
little
posts
bit,
about it.
because
For sure.
Oh my
like it
god.
has
have to
to have.
find the
It's just
tweet.
so much
I
easier and
think
efficient.
it
to,
create runs too, right? Like if you see someone Genie 20
Yeah.
and it's like, like someone like Pranksy, and then all of a sudden like everyone kind of follows them, right? Like
Yeah.
that stuff happens. Like I do think it creates more momentum for projects for sure. Right? Like,
I just max gassed it, and I think it's my new profile picture. I need
Does
this.
it look like you?
No, but I need it.
can you bring it up? Let's see.
Well, only if I'm gonna hit it. If I don't get it, then I'm not gonna
Gassing.
bring it up.
Pumping the gas on it.
I might pump it a little bit. Oh, we got him. Here we go. I'm so stoked. This is the best.
Yeah. How much was that one?
Describe this for the
about
people
150.
listening, Dangy.
About 150 USD, I believe. But what this is a hoodie with a mustache and a cigarette and a beer hat. You know those like hard hat construction hats with the beers on the side, with DD on the front.
If that was DW, oh man.
But I saw that and I saw the beer and the DD. And I thought it was designated driver, but no, it's DGen dads. So
it is
I thought
funny
it was
that
designated.
I know, but it is funny that it's a good way.
Okay.
Dangy, I just bought a DGen dad.
Why?
Man.
I want to be doing this alone. I don't. Oh,
Lou, did you buy one?
553 listed.
I think it looks pretty sweet.
I found one that I liked, and I went to click on it, and gas cost more than to pay for.
Yeah, I
the
paid
item,
more
so
in
I
gas
didn't do
than
it.
I paid more in gas than I paid 0.025 in gas to pay for, and I paid 0.024 for the.
I was
Trey,
doing
yours is pretty
0.045.
cool.
I think it's cool. It's got a mullet.
I like it.
I'm in on the dads. I think these dads are cool as hell.
We're both in on the dads.
So do we need to rail about the chain links or chain faces anymore?
No, you were distracted, not paying attention anyway. We'll move on.
To the ball. we never got around to doing the ball.
That's true. Let's tie the ballers. So way back when I minted 3, and Trey, I forget, you were AFK or whatever, and so I picked up 1 for you, and we did, of course, the normal thing that we normally do, which is we don't really figure out how we're going to do it. We don't call IDs out beforehand. So here we are, and fortunately and unfortunately, we have 2 floors on either side. We have this guy over here and this guy over here. I would assume they're both floors. But in the middle, I clicked on this guy. On the middle, we have a stone body, which 3.17% have this trait.
Nice.
So I was looking, and over here in the marketplace, and I pulled up the stone filter. Floor right now is $29.50 for these stones. Yeah.
When I sold mine, you couldn't even do a filter. I had no idea how to price it. The floor was all bugged. It was a disaster. At least they upgraded it. I haven't been back since.
So these are like,
once I
this
sold,
would be like, if you thought Flow was going to become a big NFT platform, maybe you could make a bet on Ballers, because it's one of the first actual like PFP.
People seem excited about it.
Interesting.
Eric, are you okay? Eric once a month watches a YouTube of every grunt from Home Improvement, and it's excellent. I'm so proud of the chat's just having a different show than I am than the show is having. So we got 3 shows in one.
My thing is like, is this really the best that they're gonna have on Flow? Like this goes back to I think a main reason why Punks fell off is because like there's gonna be some cooler artwork. There's gonna be something with like cooler utility probably down the road. So like does the first big rush matter? Wouldn't you rather want to sell into that rush?
It's a good point.
I guess I don't know who's
Oh.
buying these other than like Top Shot Bros. Like,
But they
That's
are.
what it
There's
is.
a lot of them. Like a lot of
Yeah.
them are holding it.
I mean, what kind of Top Shot card
But
could you
once-
get for like
once-
$3,000 though? I feel like if they're Top Shot pros, they should be spending their money on Top Shot.
well, but that's my thing. Like, once they stop buying, who else is buying, right? Like, they're just gonna hold their bags. It's gonna be like LeBron Cosmics, where they think it's worth $100,000 and it's actually worth like 20.
So does this say there's 59 of them that are listed or exist for Stone?
I believe that's exist. It's
How
got
many
well, it's gotta be
zombies are
listed.
there? So there's less Stone than aliens?
Well, I think there's different variants of aliens. There's pink,
Is that not in order?
and there's
A
bright.
pink aliens
There's
for
pink,
Right,
50,000?
zombie.
Right.
Okay.
Pink.
All right, the site can't handle what you're trying to do right now.
Oh,
Yeah.
these are ands, not ors. That sucks. I mean, who wouldn't want this for $7,500?
That's what I mean. Like, yours isn't overly rare, right? It's kind of
No,
like
like-
doing. It's kind of like selling a noise ape.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, with-
yeah,
I
that's
like it.
which is good. It's rare
I'm
still.
still, I'm
Right,
still
so
grateful
above
that-
you
floor.
sold your dog for like 5 ETH or something, right?
Yeah, 4. Now they're like worth. What
8?
are they worth? They ran up today.
They
Really?
went up to like 8, which sucks because I kept DMing Babs like they're
Well,
at
there's-
2. They shouldn't be at 2. I need to get one, don't I? But everyone hates the dogs. And I just like I couldn't do it. I don't know why.
They were 7.7 at one point today. They're down to 6.4 because they're racist dogs.
Reasonable. Are all the
Really
Japan
thing that
ones
we
at the
wouldn't
floor?
Yeah, they're racist dogs. All of them. They don't like racism.
Oh my god.
I mean,
I'm trying to get this
look at-
wheel. Do you want to do a
Is
wheel
this the
tray, or do you have a
floor?
better idea of how you want to
Oh
do it?
my god, a wheel of you
So-
Trey is really
Yeah,
good.
too bad.
I like the wheel idea.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm cool with
You
it.
could list the names more.
You want to do the names? All right.
Why don't you do rock,
No,
paper,
no,
scissors? Rock, paper, scissors, live on screen.
For what though? Because we got to do it for like Trey gets one.
They have
I
to-
get.
they're
Oh,
doing a
two.
draft.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
this
then
is for which one
I'll
Trey
pick
would
a
get.
number. So
You
I
need
guess
to
I'll
do
pick
like
a
one
number
of
and then
those draft randomizer things. You know. I don't know.
I don't know what you're talking. Well, I don't know.
Just
what the
let Trey
difference
pick a number. He picks one of the numbers, and that's the like say
Well,
which
you would-
3 or which.
someone
You
would
gotta
have
identify.
to. One of you two would have
Okay,
to pick.
Stone is number 1.
No. Here, they're in order.
Well, I'm gonna pick one then.
Yeah, just put those
Oh yeah,
three
that makes
numbers
no
in.
sense. Yeah, you got to put 3 numbers in.
I'm saying
took-
that we like.
one
I
of
would
you
spin
gets
this,
2
and
of
that's the
them?
one that Trey gets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's fine.
Left to right, 1, 2, 3.
Oh boy.
Which one was Stone?
Yeah. Which one?
Stone
was
is 2.
2.
Ah,
Stone is
Okay.
middle.
I got the
Rob.
floor. There you go, Dangy. I mean, he got
Trey
it for me,
gets-
so he got
Trey
it for
gets
me.
kind of a
so,
Trey
yeah.
lookalike.
That was pretty good.
There we
Not
go.
brown hair, though.
That is
That was
kind
not
of
bad. What's his
Basketball in
stats?
high school.
What's
I
his
played
stats?
basketball
Scroll
in
down.
high school too.
Oh, he's got a 79 playmaking. He's not bad. He's
Wow.
well rounded, very well rounded.
Yeah, he's
New
pretty
Orleans
well-rounded
Giants,
in high school.
of course. Can we just transfer these? Like, how do we do this?
Yeah, I don't know. We're gonna have to.
I mean,
figure this
yeah,
out.
that is
You probably got to sell it for
That's
him. And
probably
then
the-
transfer him.
yeah.
question. Sell it to him.
for $1, and then everyone will freak out that there's money laundering going on or
floor's
something.
crashing.
I don't know if you'd be able to do that. Yeah, someone would snipe it.
We'll
Just
figure
sell
it
it.
out.
Definitely watching for that.
Like Dangy, sell it on the marketplace, and then Trey goes and buys his Patty Mills moment for $1,500 on Top Shot.
Yeah. I
you
have
go.
to
That's
cycle
how
the
you get
profits
money
into a
over.
top shot. Yeah.
That's what people were doing all year.
Josh is saying there's a game. Is there?
Yeah, that's what those stats are for.
Dylan, stop it.
That is
Dylan,
news to me.
that's FUD. Listing under 1 is
I
FUD.
mean,
Thanks,
it
Dylan.
might be time the genie.
I actually think Dangy needs a second guy coach, like that should tell him when not to second guy. And I love
he's
Dangy,
second
but
guy.
like
What was that? 0.06, 0.05.
This was
worth?
just a
Like,
fun. Like I just think it's funny.
I,
So
I
this was
remember
not
we
an
got
investment.
mad when he did that with the Toad, because the Toad was like 1.5 ETH. Like that was a way more aggressive, like right after second guy.
But
Yeah, no,
It worked out. But
I'm glad we brought this back up because because I wasn't paying attention. I didn't bring this up. Of like, my first thesis is, do I think this overall project could run? If so, then find a mispriced rare. The dads.
I like this comment. Price says he can give us a trader link, but Bab's friends use it all the time. You might lose your baller with that link.
And a little bit more.
So I do not think these are going to run. So I will not spend any more money trying to buy rares. But Toads, I mean, Gremplin was a well-known artist, is still a well-known artist. The thesis was there for Toads, so that's why I went hard at that. Very much a different
right for Toads.
Yeah. Well, and that's why also I think Nate's thesis on Doodles was right. Like, and Lou was finding rare Doodles in the night of, because we knew they were a relative premier project, and the floor is not going to collapse on them. Full stop.
Mm-hmm.
You stupid dads.
I'm under.
So then the relative risk is down. Yeah.
It's counterintuitive, but if the floor is higher at the mint, I think the risk is lower if you're buying rares versus these. Like, even if you bought a rare Critters, no chance.
I have such a hard time with that because I think back to MFers, and like people were second guy in those like right after the mint, way above floor for rares, kind of probably thinking the same thesis, and all those guys are down bad now, right? Like it's hard to like be 100% confident. I don't know. Like
you're never going to be
able to.
No, you have to accept that you're not going to hit 100% of them, though. I mean, if you're jumping into second guy and think that you're going to hit on every single one, then you're off your rocker. I mean, that's just not going to happen. You have to accept that you're going to lose money.
Trey, off your rocker isn't. I haven't heard that in so long.
There we go.
Did you just spend time with some older Midwestern folks?
Yeah, right. Well, I am from the Midwest, so
yeah,
it makes sense.
So let's talk 2022 strategy stuff. I know we were talking about Dangy needs some help second guying. Sure, I'll accept all help. Whatever, I'm down. I literally have a whiteboard with like notes on what my plan is going to be for this year, and I'm going to write it down. It's going to be rules I'm going to revisit probably once a month or so, just to see, because the first year it was just mania. I had no idea what I was doing. Yeah. I was dumb and bad, but I still made money. This year, I think it's going to be harder to make money. So I'm trying to figure out what my strategy is going to be. And I think it's part of it's what Babs is saying, of like, have more conviction in what you're doing. And then hit it harder too when you have that conviction. So it's kind of like these the chains. Like, I had some conviction, like, oh, it's Nate Alex, seems good. I'm going to go mint 20 of them and then see what happens. And part of my conviction was I'm going to throw them in the arena and make a big bet. And so here we are making a big bet.
We got rugged. It was only like half as much bounty as we expected. If the bounty right now, and it was starting at 0.08 with 17,000 people, you'd feel a lot better, right?
Yep. Yeah, for sure. If he put like 1,200 of his 1,800 he made on that project into the prize pool, we'd all be ecstatic. Like, we'd be loving this game. 4 digits, yeah. Like we would have started at 0.08 and it would just keep going up. Like, we would be loving this game. The fact that he took so much of the pot makes it not fun, right? Like, it makes it less EV. Like 70% of us at least are losing money, a lot of money, right? So it just makes the game less fun. I just wish he would have put more of the percentage of the mint earnings he made in the prize pool, because we'd all be having fun. We'd all love this project right now. Like, I think that was the big failing on the project is just taking too much of the money.
So do we think like there's going to be a copycat of this idea? Are we going to go ham on that one if they say they're going to put 80% in or something? Like, what would the level be?
The tokenomics. He's already said for the secret project number 2, it's going to be a higher mint cost but lower count. So I wonder what the ratio is going to look like there as far as the bounty. Yeah, because I think you're right, Lou. We're going to probably get half a dozen to a dozen of these things in different variants, and the play has got to be just calculate the EV and then go. I would assume
he probably made it too expensive this time. If this was 0.03 and it was like 60% goes to the prize pool, and I don't think people would have been as like the reaction that we're currently at, because you could say it as, oh, I'm testing, making sure that it works at a low mint, but it's starting it at 0.09 right off the bat, and then doing a 60% rake is a little aggressive.
Well, yeah, even if it was 60% in the prize pool, right? Like the fact that it was whatever 30%, like that's what ruins it. Like it just massively makes it negative EV right from the start, right? Like the rake is too big. He took too much of the money. Like we're all going to be losers at the end of the day. Because my theory is no one's going to want to buy these after. Like you might, some of the ones with a ton of scars that last a long time in the arena, like might have a little bit of value, but you might be selling it for what you minted it for then, right? Like if anything. So that's the downside. But yeah, we kind of got sidetracked on the 2022 goals. 2022 goals, mint as many Chainface knockoffs as possible.
Yeah.
New meta.
Well, yeah, the new meta.
But no, I think this ties right into, at least for me, of like, okay, we know this is going to be, we're going to have a quite a few of these. Have a plan and execute it. Don't just say, oh, staking meta, going to buy the staking stuff. Now what do I do? Know what you're going to do ahead of time. Now, I did that with cats and CMY cats, and I came out ahead, not nearly as ahead as I had hoped because the bottom fell out. But I think that's the right play, is have a plan and then execute it.
It's like diminishing returns. That's a term, right? Like with each one, that's what happened with Wolf game stuff, right? With each one that came out, it was less likely that you would win on it. Because people are learning over time. So like that was also our theory into getting to this one, was because if we're the first ones in and have a strong, like go ham at it. So it doesn't always work, but I mean, I know
that was Outlaw was saying that too, of why he was into it was because he's looking for new twists on current games, and this definitely fits the bill. So I don't think it was a bad idea to mint these. I think it is frustrating that the EV is not there, and it's not there by so much. Like make it a little bit more positive.
Until we're sweating this 4 weeks from now, and we're all in like the top 10.
I mean if one of us is live
at the end
near the end. It's a live stream. Like we've got to stream the sweat, right?
Oh yeah.
But I feel like you're gonna have to make it pretty far. Like you're gonna have to make it pretty far to make up for, like, Dangy, you and I have 20 in there. Like we're gonna have to make it pretty far to make up for all the ones we lose.
My thought is like, top 500.
Yeah,
maybe.
But like that's a pretty low percentage. Like you're making it that far almost just to make up the cost of your mint, presumably, right? Like
correct.
It's a millimaker.
So
we're fighting to get out alive. So if I can get out even, I'll be hard. God, it'll be such me to just pull them out if I can get even.
Yeah.
Lou, what are you adjusting for your strategy come 2022?
One thing I've been trying to do, well, I think last year we learned what can happen going into it, like as things were happening. Like going into the year, we didn't think something like Bored Ape could become 75 ETH floor, right? And now that I know it's more realistic for things to get up to a 10 ETH floor, it's kind of like the Doodles thesis in a way, where like buying it at 1 and you could see them hitting 10, whereas when I bought a Bored Ape at 1, I didn't envision it going all the way to 10 because like punks were 8 or something at that point. So I think it's just the idea that I've seen enough of these things like happening again, where what I want to do is try this like bulk buy stuff, like buying 10 at a mint, buying 20, because that seems like when people actually get more successful, and that's where you don't have to grind it as much. So I'm trying more of this like the bulk conviction thing, like find things like I did it with lemons, right? Which I mean, they didn't hit 1 ETH floor, but you buy 30 lemons at 0.004 each and they get up to 0.4 floor, then that's still a 10x. So I've learned that I think that buying like one of the expensive stuff, but buying in bulk of the small stuff, because what's the downside of buying things at 0.03? It's 0.03, but the upside is like multiple ETH. So I'm gonna try to do stuff more like that. That's why Genie I wanted to practice on. Are they already dead?
Yeah, they're wildly dead. They are dead. You get the dreaded less than symbol on the floor price on OpenSea, and it's over.
That's true. That's pretty much
Yeah,
it.
Eric's saying copy trading Dan. That's one thing I didn't do in 2020. Part of it was having the bankroll to do it, but part of it now is seeing like all the McVados do it. Jay Price did it. Easy did it. Like I've seen people that have been successful in that strategy. Like you don't have to hit every one, but the ones that you hit on makes up for the ones that you missed.
For sure.
What about you, Babs? What's 2022 bringing for you?
Yeah, like one thing I want to have more conviction on is holding those good projects. Like be a little more patient. Like Doodles is a perfect example. I think I minted, I don't know what you can mint, 4 or 5 of those. I sold them all below 2 Ethereum, right? Like I didn't hold on to a moon bag. I kind of moved on. Like at the point it was an expensive mint, right? Like I didn't really want to hold a 5 Ethereum bag for too long. The floor wasn't moving. I wasn't patient enough. I didn't believe enough in the thesis that I thought eventually they would run. I wish I would have held those. So I kind of learned a lesson from some of those things. And I'm trying to bring that into 2022 is like, just be a little more patient, have more conviction on some of those ones that you think could run to those like multiple ETH floors. Doodles one, like, and I've kind of, learned lessons that way, like Neo Tokyo. I'm sorry, Dangy, I'll bring it up. But like I minted it. I said, like I'm holding this because I learned my lesson from one of the first Neo Tokyo series ones. I had one. Lou, you had one too. We both sold it incredibly low compared to what the floor got to. I learned my lesson from, how some of these guys can pump their own projects. And I told myself I'm going to hold it. Like the floor now is 12.45, right? Like I had some conviction. I held it. I'm trying to be a little more patient that way, I'd say. So that's my 2022 goals. That, and along with trying to be more of a grinder. Like I'm having a hard time keeping up with all the discords, all the new whitelists. I do think that meta won't stop. So I'm trying to be a little bit more organized, know ahead of time, like which whitelists are easy to do, get in them early if I can. Like that's where you make free, easy money, right? Like if you get in for cheap with no gas and 40% of the public sale is a gas war, you instantly make money because everyone's paying up for that new gas war floor. So those are my 2 goals. Be more patient and try and grind some of those discords a little bit more.
Yeah, the patience is going to be hard. Me and you, Babs, we gotta talk when we think there's because we're both paper handed. We know that we tied for paper hands on the awards show. Really,
I mean, I always tell Babs when I'm thinking of second guying things, whether I do it or not. I was like, I don't know. Meta Heroes, why have they not gone up yet? Like I did it with Cool Cats too. I was like, why are Cool Cats 6.5 right now? And Bored Ape went way up, and Mutants went way up, and Doodles are catching them. Like, I don't know. It just seems weird when that's, I guess, if I'm gonna give a little strategy of how I've been second guying, is in this trickle down effect scenario. Like I felt like I missed Cool Cats. I felt like I missed Mutants to buy into. So my question was, what are these other blue chips that people are going to turn to that are cheaper? That's how I ended up on the Meta Hero. Because to me, it was like a lot of these others that were similar to Meta Heroes already hit 5. And Meta Heroes, what'd they get up to? Didn't they get up to like 8 or 9 when they first came out?
When they first came out? They
screamed.
The Mint Pass hit 10 because I remember
they were. Well, the Mint Pass has gone up. I think the Mint Pass has gone up to 10. The actual Meta Heroes, I don't think ever really got up past like 5 or 6 because no one was buying them at the time. Like people would mint the Mint Passes. The Meta Heroes would sit there. No one was paying for rarity. Like at the time, they didn't have a ton of sales volume other than the Mint Pass, right?
Nobody's still paying for rarity though. That's the thing. It's still weird. Because I have one and I can't get viewed. Like it's very illiquid. Let's put it that way. I just can't do anything with it really. Even I had it listed at 15 ETH and it's top 20.
Yeah. If you go look at the sales feed for the last 24 hours, it's all floors, right?
Yeah.
It's all floors the last 24 hours.
Yeah.
It's like whatever the floor was, like that's what's selling, right? So yeah. Guess that's what happens when it's a staking one, right? Like people are happy to just buy the floor.
Marvin bringing up toads. I've been expecting toads to go up, and they haven't really.
They were
they've
like
been
2.1.
floating.
They have doubled.
I know they were, but they've been chopping. They've been in like that choppy behavior in between 2 and 4 for like 2 months now. So I'm surprised that, I thought if we hypothetically, now that we're seeing summer is back, I thought toads would have ran. Those got up to a 15 ETH floor.
I think that's
so.
The
What
problem.
changed?
I think a lot of people took big L's on toads at the end of the year.
I guess,
and I didn't want to get back in. That's my thought on toads, because I agree. They seem like they should be over 5
they
now.
were strong. Yeah.
I also think the floor toads really do just look terrible. I went and looking for one the other day, and I bought one, and they're all suck. I don't like those toads really.
That was when you guys were buying them for the
upper tiers are great.
FUD the toads.
Yeah, when you were buying them for the Christmas drop, I went and looked, and I didn't like any of the floor ones, right? It's hard to find one you kind of like.
I love the
100%.
one that have caps, and it's kind of just, it doesn't have any crazy traits or anything. It just looks good. So I think it is just more on the aesthetic.
That's what I need to get better at in 22 is allowing myself to like a dumb profile picture, because we've talked about it in the Discord too. I'll see it and I'll say, oh, this toad's cool as hell or whatever. And then I'll go look at the USD price at the floor, and I'm like, it's like I break the fourth wall, I break the suspension of disbelief of NFTs. I'm like, this is ridiculous. And then I'm like, well, sell. And then it's gone. And then things run, and there's pumps and there's cycles. And that's the thing that I was thinking. I was just looking at the Neo Tokyo, the line graph that OpenSea gives you on the average price or whatever. It was dead until 2 days ago. Not dead, but right where I sold. So I was fine with that. And that's why I'm also still fine. I could not predict the third highest daily volume in OpenSea history. Nobody could. So I'm totally fine with what my current strategy. And I want to kind of go blank slate 2022, and we'll build with the current bankroll that I have, not looking back as much. So
I also think
kind of zen in that mode.
Being more confident to buy things in a down market. Because we've seen this time and time again, people overreact when things start going down. I sold a doodle back at 3 because I had bought it at 4, and it was towards the end of the year, and it was tax loss harvest. And then you turn around the next day and the floor is 3.8, so selling on the downswings is one thing I feel like I've learned. You sell into pumps, you don't sell into downswings heavily.
Maybe it's hard to sell into those. It's hard to sell into those pumps because you're just what if? It's constantly just once it gets to a certain point, you almost just, you're well, if it got to 1, it can get to 2 for sure. And then you start feeding yourselves all these, feeding yourself all these different narratives, right? About how it's the next this and it's the next that. So you really just kind of have to separate yourself from that and just say, screw it, and sell into the pumps.
On that note, shout out to EZ. I like his mentality of just never delist. But there's a second order thinking there, which is never list unless you're ready to sell it. And I think that's the other thing. That's what really needs to come home to me, is because I'll list things immediately and say, I don't know, sure, somebody will buy it, and then I'll run away and be done with an hour of work, and then I make whatever $2,000 for an hour of work. Fantastic. But if I hold, then I could make $10,000 or whatever that looks like.
That's what I did with the Meta Hero. I had it listed at 5.9. And then we started catching. So, but the second that I delisted and relisted it, then I'm watching every sale, and I'm like, why aren't they choosing mine? Why is the floor 6.8 and they just bought this one at 7.2? So then you're just overthinking everything.
Do you think Top Shot ruined our brains for on the downswing mentality? I felt like Top Shot started going down and just constantly went down. So now people panic when stuff starts going down, and you want to get rid of it because you want to still sell in March rather than June. When it's worth nothing. Did that change our views on some people wanting to sell on the downswings because, at least I can get this much instead of, a month from now it's worth 20% less, and a month from now it's worth 20% less than that. Should we in general be more patient as NFT holders on good projects? Obviously the trash ones, get out if you feel like it's going to zero, but like, should we worry on downswings? Did that wintry NFT season, is that just a blip, or is it coming again? Like that's, it's hard, right? Like it's hard to know what to do.
That ties into picking good projects. Like, yeah, the dads thing, that was just me being goofy. Like that's not me playing strategies, me having fun. But if I like a project and I mint it and I mean it to be a long-term hold or a medium-term hold, don't even list it. So that's one of the heuristics that I'm going to do is have like what's my level of conviction, and basically in my head I have 3 buckets: low, medium, high. And if it's high, then just hold it, let it ride. If it's low, then if I make 0.1, I'll be happy. So that'll give me permission to hold things, I guess, in my own head, and permission to dump things if I really want to.
Yeah. I always find it so much easier to hold things on stuff you mentally tell yourself you're going to hold. Like I've had a few of those, like a Bored Ape, Pixel Vault stuff, like Ether Oryx right now, are all things like I'm just kind of cool to hold. I hardly ever check the floor. It goes up and it goes down, but I don't care as much. It's those ones that like I'm not long-term committed to, that you pay too much attention to it and you almost panic yourself into selling sometimes, right? Like,
yeah,
it's like you almost need to put things into buckets. Like, how quickly am I selling it, and then kind of stick to that strategy. Like, if you're holding it, never check the floor. If you want to sell it in the next 48 hours, like you're punting it. Or if you're okay holding it for a month or two, then you're trying to time a market, which is always hard. But the month or two one's the hard one for me, right? Like the selling within 24 to 48 hours, like that's an easy game for me. It's the ones that like I don't want to hold for a year, but I also want to try and sell for as much profit as possible. Like it's hard to time markets, right?
See, the thing with me is that I hate selling at a loss. Like if I'm gonna buy a mint, I'm not gonna be the guy. Like I know that sell within 24 hours, don't hold within whatever. But for me, it's like I buy this. I don't want to sell. If I buy it at 0.08, with gas one day, I don't want to sell it for 0.07 minus OpenSea fees the next day. Like normally I'm just riding that until zero, or I'm riding it until it used. And that's why I end up with a ton of dust in my wallet. And that's why I was tax loss harvesting a ton of shit. But also like there's some stuff that just literally goes down and then it just out of nowhere, like there's no rhyme or reason for a lot of this stuff. And that's what I learned. It's just like, oh, that's pumping again. Like what the hell? So it's almost worth it sometimes to just hang on to that dust, because you just never know what influencer is going to hop onto it. You never know what narrative is going to get attached to it later on. That could come out, that could come out of
Rebel
nowhere.
bots do you still have?
None. I'm pissed.
Those randomly.
No, I taxed it. No, yeah, I sold those. Like those were one of the ones that I sold like way early. But still,
Trey, we're seeing your thesis right now. Do you see a less than sign anymore?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
They're coming back.
No more less than.
The dads are back, baby.
Let's go, baby.
They're back up 5%. Or 5 times.
That's right. Yeah, if you swept 100 of them, it's 5x right there. It's pretty good. Pretty good. So Trey, I'm going to take a hard left turn, but you teased us a DeFi Kingdom story from one of your friends.
Oh yeah.
Before the show. So can you? Jewel has hit 20 on Harmony side. Jewel hit 20, wicked to 23 on AVAX. So just unbelievable. So Trey, tell me about your story.
Well, my buddy's been. He's a token holder, so I gifted 3 of my friends tokens, and so most of them are just lurkers at this point. Is more just like a gift to them. I was like, hey, if you guys, it was like a way for me to point them somewhere where they could come and learn and like hang out and stuff. But anyway, he's a token holder, and he's been like asking me about DFK because he's been on crypto Twitter and just seeing people talk about it and stuff. So I'm like, yeah, you should get into it. I'm into it. And so he was asking me questions. I didn't get back to him. And then he finally got into it the other day. And I talked to him a couple hours ago, and I was like, so how are things going? And he started asking me, like, he's gone down the rabbit hole that I think most people have gone down. And he's asking me, like, I think I want to buy my first hero. Like, I think he's only 1 ETH in right now, but he's like, I want to buy my first hero. And he's asking me all these heroes questions. And I'm like, dude, I am not the person to be asking those questions. Like look at the APR on the pools and pick one, right? Jewel 1, Jewel AVAX, Jewel Luna, whatever you want to do. And I'm like, but for all your hero stuff, like go and watch the Club NGMI DFK videos. He's like, oh, dude, I did that, but I went and watched one, and it was 30 straight minutes of them waiting for something to release on DFK, talking about it, and it never ended up happening. So I just turned it off. And I was like, oh my God.
I mean, he's not wrong. It did happen.
Yeah, so then he was just like, he did watch like a ton of the videos, but I just thought that was hilarious because you guys always joke about how it's just like this boring content. And
have to watch 2.5 hours, 2.5 hours of content for 15 minutes of info.
Well, he's like, dude, I watched all their videos, and I was like, you watched 4 hours of DFK content with Easy, Pump and Dangy? Like, what are you doing, dude? And he was like, yeah, well, one of the videos is 30 minutes, and I just turned it off.
I mean, but it's a choose your own adventure. Hit the fast forward button if you don't like what we're talking about.
Yeah,
when gardening, though.
I told him that he's gonna jump in the chat here soon. I told him not to be so scared, to say that he's starting to degen into it and that you guys will help him out.
If I remember correctly, that was the one that I was literally falling asleep. Like, people were like, your eyes are really tired. Yeah, I'm tired. God,
he's just gonna have to take over the daily diary if he's the new guy. That's all. Just one.
Oh no. Wow. Hopefully he'll be in there soon.
BD shouting out to the drunk Iron Mike. Yeah, drunk Iron Mikey.
Oh man,
2022 more drunk streams.
Do you think there's going to be anyone? Are we ever going to have a drunker guest than Iron Mikey? Yes or no?
I hope so. Like, I could see us doing a live remote from some dumb place, and then we're all just trashed. I could see that. That'd be really fun. So maybe then. I don't know. Maybe a tease for later. We'll see. All right. Any other happenings that we should discuss on this show? Because I don't know that I'm all out of show sheet stuff.
I know we've talked about this, and this could sound like shilling bags, but I think it'll be good to watch what happens with the Meta Hero token when that comes out, because a lot of the hype around why apes went up in price and why the cool cats have been going up in price are these tokens. So this is kind of like the first of the big names that are coming out with the token. So I want to watch the price action of that, because we've done the price action thing on like shit coins, but this is like a bigger hype coin that people are expecting, unlike the ENS, right? Like, people are expecting this. So I'm interested to watch that price action this week.
Yeah. So that comes out
when
this
does
week?
that? Yeah, I thought it was
Wednesday,
tomorrow.
right? Yeah.
Really?
I think it's Wednesday.
So they have two tokens though. One is the POW or the POW, POW, and then the other is the ape or what?
The punks.
It's punks. It's punks. So it's your
punks,
share of of like all of the punks they own, and so where POW is the gaming token in the Meta Hero universe,
So
right? So
POW is the one that we're more interested on, because it's not pegged to the value of punks. It's more speculative value based on the game and what's going to happen going forward.
I just checked. It's 2 days for the cooldown. So yeah, it should be Wednesday sometime.
The 6th. Yeah.
Got it. Cool.
So that'll be interesting. How many you got? You must have thousands. I only started staking
I have 9,300. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
how many Meta Heroes are you staking?
I have two staked. Two
staked?
Yeah.
And
I have 2 staked.
They're locked for 30 days, right? So every 30
30?
days you can claim your tokens, and they're locked. You can't sell them.
It's not based on rarity, right?
No.
Okay.
Which came first, the Meta Hero stuff or Wolf game? Meta Heroes.
Meta Heroes
Meta
came first,
Well,
yeah.
Meta
But the
Heroes
staking
way
stuff,
before
though.
Wolf.
But Wolf game you can
That
stake
was-
first.
They've
So
been teasing.
Yeah.
but they've been
Meta Heroes been
teasing
staking.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've been teasing staking since the very, very beginning. That was one of the few things that they actually talked about doing, and then never actually got to.
With
Right?
the
You were going to be able
comics,
to, with the comics. Did they ever even get to? Can you
Yeah.
stake your comic right now? You
Stake
can.
the comic,
Okay.
same time as the Meta Heroes. You can
I don't
stake
have
both.
one anymore. so-
I have a comic
That
stake
gets you
and
the
I have
punk
two
token.
Meta Heroes. So
Do you know where
yeah,
I'm going
that's
with
right.
this?
It gets you two different things.
Do you know
Is
where I'm going with this?
about wolves?
Where are you going?
What's the link between these two, between Wolves and Meta Heroes?
Beanie, but Beanie got cut.
No longer linked.
That's what I'm
Why do you
saying.
think I bought in?
Almost like a Carlini situation. Like
No. But my
leaving
point is
NFT
like
boxes.
Beanie's like, oh, I worked on the tokenomics of Wolf game, and so he's kind of like alluded to like dreaming of this
leaving
scenario,
the walls.
creating. Who maybe he came up with it for Meta Heroes too, and for Pixel Ball, maybe. I don't know.
So but like I'm curious to the fact that it doesn't have any utility yet, right? So it's mainly just a speculative bet. If someone's buying POW, they're buying it based on the future, which a lot of people are doing for these gaming tokens. Like people are hyped on gaming tokens lately, but I am curious to see what kind of the price action is, because I think it's going to do one of two things. It's either going to rocket the floor, or it's going to tank it, right? Like.
But that's why I think it's going to be similar to the apes. Because when the ape
it is
comes
up,
out,
up,
they're
or
not going to
down,
have the universe or game yet.
I think most of these gaming coins aren't, like, most of the games that the coins represent aren't even built out yet. So it's all speculative, because it's
I'm not sure
these games aren't going to be fully built
out
for like a year or two at least, right? So most of it is like Raider, right? Like you said, I think that's one LP APR, people just speculating on that. And then also maybe Raider becomes a big game in the future where it's more fun to play, and it's got more users and stuff.
Yeah. I think the Pixel team did say that like POW will have some usage in a game theory aspect, right? So
Galactic Pixel Wars are live, and they're an open sea drop. If you're interested in that.
I don't know if we care.
Galactic Pixel Wars. Man,
what do you want from me?
I mean, what do we know about it? How much is it?
This is the official OpenSea page for Galactic Pixel Wars. It's a digital trading card game consisting of 3,000 war-ready galactic pixels and the planets they call the war planets. When planets? I don't know.
Galactic part.
Do you guys see the fees what the WTF tweet?
Yeah, that's exciting.
I think it's going to be good. I have a lot of fails.
It's
5-to-1 ratio for fails.
I think it's going to be talking about calls, Tony. I think this is going to be closer to SOS than it was gas, just because whales are going to have more money involved in it, and so they going to have more invested in pumping it up on crypto Twitter. So
and fees.wtf has also been around and been used by the community, and gas and SOS both weren't. So I think that'll add something to it. But I think it kind of ties back into what Lou said. I mean, we kind of saw it where it was like SOS flew up and then went down. So we saw that price action. And then now we got gas that came out, and we saw a little bit of that same price action, but it was to a lesser extent, right? So it'll be interesting to see if fees does this, has the same price action, but maybe even just a little bit less than gas. Hopefully not, because gas didn't do great. But
10 out of 10 spellcast.
Why are people still doing OpenSea drops? Like, if anyone's interested in your project, only bots are going to get it, and if no one wants it, like, no one cares.
I can tell you exactly why. You don't have to do a smart contract.
Yeah, fair.
You just click buttons. You don't have to do anything Solidity. So, I am not buying these as of right now. We'll see what ends up happening.
We bought some weird stuff on OpenSea that worked out, but it doesn't always work out.
That's
not
true.
Always.
That's true. Thank you all for hanging out today on this beautiful Monday. Hopefully we're staying in summer vibes. I don't know. We'll see. I don't think we can stick up with third highest OpenSea volume. So we'll see when the volume dries up a little bit. I'd like it to be forever, but it never is. So on behalf of Lou, Babs, Trey, I'm Dangy. See you.